It's that time of the year where at work we're talking about mid-year reviews at work, or if you're an entrepreneur, if you have a business, you're probably reviewing some of your goals to to make sure you meet them for the end of the year. But why haven't we normalized doing a mid-year review for our wellness, for our health and well-being? One of the most important things that we have. So, I'm going to walk you through 5 things that I want you to take a look at this week. I want you to get a pen and a paper, or you could even do this, on your laptop, digitally, whatever. I just want you to take the time out to do this. Now, this will probably take you 15 to 30 minutes to go over, depending on what you have to do, depending on what's outstanding. But let's take the time this week to really go over our health and wellness goals, make sure we're on track. Now, if you haven't even set goals for yourself as far as your health and well-being this year, I really want you to take time out to do that. And I do think I have another video talking more about this. If I don't, let me know if I do, I will link it here or here. Not sure which side, but I will link it here. But if I don't link that video, drop me a comment and let me know if you'd like me to talk more about how I create my wellness plan for the year. I will go more in detail about that in another video. So let's get into the 5 things that I want you to do. Like I said, this week, I want you to do a mid-year review for your health and wellness. The first thing that I want you to do is review all of your appointment list. Have you gone to your physical? Have you gone to the dentist? Have you done all those basic appointments, that you may have needed to do or that work or that are part of your well-being? Have you done your basic standard appointments for years? So that's first and foremost. If you do have any outstanding appointments, go ahead and make those calls. Give yourself a deadline. I suggest doing it within 48 hours or doing it right then while you are doing this review. Go ahead, get those appointments scheduled. If you need to call your insurance to verify some things, go ahead and make the time to do that. Because what we want to avoid is waiting until the end of the year where all the doctor's offices are busy. It's harder to get into your doctor because everybody is trying to get those appointments in before their insurance benefits expire. So we want to avoid that mad dash and we want to go ahead and get this taken care of now. The next thing I want you to do is review any outstanding to-dos from any appointments that maybe you've already been to. So maybe you went to your physical and maybe your iron was low. So maybe you need to be doing some supplementation for that. Maybe you need to look for some supplementation. So go ahead, add that to your list of to-dos, add that to the things that you are going to do within the next 48 hours after you do this review. And speaking of supplementation, the next thing I want you to do is really review your current supplementation. What supplements are you taking? Do you really actually need to be taking all those supplements? And I really want to emphasize that you do not need to, unless prescribed by a doctor, you probably don't need to be taking tons of supplements unless you have actual deficiencies, or unless maybe you have a goal that might require some supplementation. Be mindful about that because I even feel like that's part of mindful consumption. We don't want to just be taking things to be taking things. We want to only be taking the things that we need because for one thing, it's cheaper to just do what you need. And also, we don't want to have any adverse reactions from taking things that we really didn't need to be taking. So go ahead and review that. Maybe there's some things you need to add based on some of the lab work that you had done previously, or maybe there's some things that you can go ahead and ditch. Go ahead and start working on that plan now. And also, throw away anything that you have, any old supplements that you're not using that maybe you started, but you never did really get into or you didn't take consistently, girl, just go ahead and throw that away. The next thing that we're going to do is adjust our nutrition and workout plan. Now, if what you're doing is working for you or you're working with a professional on that, you can disregard this tip. However, I do realize that for me, I like to adjust my workout and my nutrition plan based on my lifestyle or what's going on with me at the time. So for example, usually not in the summer, but closer to the end of the year is just a busier season for me, and it's just harder for me to keep up with certain types of workouts. So I just make it a point to get my 10,000 steps in. So usually for the last 3 months, my only goal is to get my 10,000 steps in, and maybe I'll do, 1 or 2 days of strength training. But I really just try to adjust based on what's going on with me, because the last thing that I want is to stress myself out doing something that's really just not feasible for the season of life that I'm in. And the same goes for nutrition too. I try to make sure that my eating plan is suitable for the season of life that I'm in at the time. Always, whole food, always nutritious, but we do have to consider what we can maintain, what we can continue to keep up with. Now, the last thing that I want you to do is rethink your goals in general. After you've reviewed all these things, let's say you wanted to lose 10 pounds. Maybe that is just not really realistic for you right now, or maybe you need to adjust to let's say instead of trying to lose a pound a week, we're going to just focus on losing a half a pound a week, because that's what makes sense for the season of life that we're in, especially when it comes to the summer where we really want to enjoy our friends. I'm more social in the summer. I'm outside in the summer. So I just make a rule for myself that, hey, these are the parameters for that. I can go out as much as I want. I can hang out with the girls as much as I want. I can go to restaurants, but at the end of the day, these are the boundaries and these are the parameters that I set for myself within doing that. And so that helps me maintain some balance, be able to enjoy my life, but still stick to those goals, still be moving forward, still be improving my health and well-being. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was super helpful. I really do want you guys to consider doing a mid-year review or a mid-year reset when it comes to your health and well-being, because I feel like this is just something that we kind of skip out on or phone it in. But it's literally the most important thing. We can't do anything else if we are not well. So thank you for watching. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit that subscribe button for me. If you're new here, introduce yourself. And I will catch you in this next video.